Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Learn to Code with Noob. So this is the episode 11 of my TypeScript series, and today we are going to learn some interesting feature of the TypeScript, which are type predicates. So I have posted all the episodes of our TypeScript series, and at the end of the video you will also see the link of the playlist. So if you want to learn more about the fundamental concepts of TypeScript, you can watch the whole playlist. I am also pasting all the other playlist links in the description down below. Alright, so let's jump right into the type predicates. Alright, today we are going to learn something related to type predicates. So what are these type predicates? So let's say you have a use case in which you have a type which is basically a user type which has a name and last name property, right? And you have another type admin, and these are the objects of those type, and you have an object right, which has these you have an object which has these properties: users, which is a user type array, and admin, which is an admin type array. So basically this object is right now currently a user type array and admin type array, but it can be anything. So what we need to do is, from our use case, what we need to do is we have to just extract the values, basically the first name and the last name, or like a first name, it doesn't matter for the sake of this example. First name of the object, right, which is passed in. So obviously we have to determine if the object if the object contains users property and the admin property, and the users property should be of type user, and the admin property should be of type admin array, right? So one thing which we can do is, like right now what we have done is, so for example, I have a variable called users, and I just say, hey, if the object dot, I am by dot annotation, I'm accessing the property, if it has dot users, right, then we can say that, okay, as user array, like we are basically asserting a type right over here. This actually doesn't do anything. This is basically telling TypeScript that, okay, this object dot users, if it has a users property, then it will have a type user, right? And the other thing is, if obviously it has a property of admin, it should have a type of admin array. Now what we do next is we just basically say, okay, users dot for each, and for each user we just do console.log of name, right? So I mean, this function is good, but obviously it lacks a lot of stuff. So for example, the first thing is, what if my object doesn't even have like, what if my object doesn't even have a users property, right? Or what if my object doesn't even have an admin property? If it doesn't have, right, then obviously the users property, like right over here, it will just say, we can't access users property. But just for the sake of this example, we will assume that the object we are passing, it has a property called users and admins, but it's not necessary that they will have a user type array and the admin type array. All right. So now what? If I basically take the example and just run it right over here with this case. So my case is, I will call this method with users and admin property, right? And obviously my users property is not an array, it is actually an object, and my admin's property is, it actually contains a users array. So my admin is actually a user type of array, right? So just for the sake of example, and obviously when I will run this thing, it will say that I can't even access. Okay. What happened over there? Yeah. So in so in extract values, right, the user is not even defined, and that is correct. The user is actually not even defined. So it kind of braked, right? When we are actually calling the extract values. So line number 20, it 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 break over there. Not line number 20, I would say. That is a JavaScript line number 20. But yeah, it actually break over there, and also it gave the error that this users dot for each, like I can't do a for each obviously on an object, right? So what we are doing over here is, it's basically a type assertion. Like this doesn't do any kind of validation, right? So now the other way to actually do this thing is with type predicates. So how that thing works? So I already have the code set up for that. So what I'll do is, I'll just do this. So what I did over here is basically extracted my users and admin in a variable, both of the properties, right? I will just remove this code, and I will just make sure my compiler is running. Just see, I'll just add a watch command on my compiler. Just want to double check my compiler is running all right. Run watch mode. All right. So moving further over here, like now what we are doing is, we actually made a method called isAdminArray, right? So this is where the type predicate comes in. So we are actually making a method called isAdminArray, and we are saying, okay, the object is any, right? But the return type is object is admin array. So this is basically a type predicate, which basically says that, okay, the return type of this function will be a type predicate, which will make sure that the return type, like this object which we are passing in, it will be of admin type array. All right, so how we will do it is, like, we will internally in our function, we will check, the first thing we will check is that if the object is of instance of array, and if object dot every, obviously every item in an object, does it have a admin name property, and does it have a admin last name property. Same thing we did for is users array, right? So if we want to determine that if the property is users is of type user array, then we are doing the same thing. Now the actual use of this is, obviously we can now use this thing in a in a conditional statement over here, right? Over here we can just say, if whatever we are passing in, if it is an admin array, then obviously admin dot for each, and everything will work fine. And you will also notice that this admin, like right after this is admin array, right? It like knows, like TypeScript knows that if this condition is true, then this admins is of type admin array. Like right off the bat, it knows. So, and this is due to the type predicate. So we just loop into the admins array and just log this thing, right? And the same thing we do for users array. If it is users array, we loop into the users array and log each and log the name of it. So now if I run this command, it just says no admin type array and no user type array. So if you see, the users is actually, it is not a user type array, right? And admin is also not an admin type array, because what I have actually entered is a user type array in admin property. So this is like one of the use case. Now you can also argue that, hey, whatever you did in this function, can I not like just do this over here? Like if object is, right, instance of an array, like everything what I did over here, like can I not do it like right over here? I mean, you could do that, but then also the I believe I haven't actually tried it. Let me just try it right now. So if I do this, let's say if I do this for admin array, right? Oops. Just copy this and just paste it. So if I do this, right? Now what is my object over here? Or I would say admins, right? I'll just say if admins is and admins. Oops. All right. Now what is my admins over here? Now you see, like this is the drawback, right? So still the admins is of, like TypeScript still doesn't know, and it can't guarantee that okay, in this block of code this admins is of type admin array, right? So this is the drawback of that whole thing. Now in order to actually prove to TypeScript that hey, this is an admin array, you have to also say that you have to do a type assertion over here. Now whatever you do, now it just makes sure, like if you just extract that into an array variable, now it will just say okay, this, like you just told me over here, and that's why this array variable is of type admin array. So so this is the benefit of doing it is admin array, and right into this block admin knows it, the TypeScript knows it, that this admins property is of type admin array. So this actually I found it very useful. While so you can use it like for anything, right? So for example, if you have an API or library, right, a JavaScript library in which you have to actually consume an object which is a very complex object of type any, and you have to drill down and make sure that your types are all correct. So this can be one of the use case in which you can use type predicates. Now the other thing with this type predicates is obviously the benefit is like in this block of code you are getting the type inference. The other thing is you also can use this thing with like for other types such as classes. You still have a good shortcut for example, instance of and something like that. But for types and interfaces, uh, there are no like actual shortcuts. If we go into like the custom types, like for example, this is my own custom type, right? um, so yeah, this is a good use case in which you can use type predicates. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please don't forget to click on the like button. If you don't like this video, please mention why in the comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. Keep learning.